not to lose my head.
Now to the expert who says it is okay for men to cheat. Professor Eric Anderson is a UK-based sociologist who's spent the past 4 years studying just why men have wandering eyes.
He says it's not a lack of love that leads to men to being unfaithful. So what drives infidelity? Professor Anderson joins us now. Good morning to you. Now, why do you say men need to cheat?
Well, I'm not saying that men need to cheat. I'm just expressing why men do cheat and why men say that they need to cheat.
Okay, why?
Would you like to know why?
Yeah, why?
Well, basically, men enter into monogamous relationships in full faith that they will be monogamous. They want to be monogamous. Many of them have come from divorced families. They felt the pain that happens after a father cheats on a mother particularly, and they don't want to cheat on their partners. But in time, matters change. The sex in the relationship... Hello?
Yeah, still got you.
The sex in the relationship begins to become routine, and then it slows down, and they strongly desire sex with somebody else.
So
sounds like I hear a fight in the background, guys.
Yeah, it's the footage we're running as a backgrounder to your piece. Let us know who you interviewed.
Okay.
Was it just undergraduate men, so young men, or did you interview anyone older and maybe married?
Well, we know that married couples cheat at very high rates. We've been studying it for 60 years now, and we know that over the decades, married men have cheated more and more. Of course, it's easier to cheat than it has ever been. What we don't really know is why they cheat. And there's an assumption that men cheat because they don't love their partners. And what I show is this is not true at all. If men don't love their partners, they leave their partners. When men cheat on their partners, and I'm talking about just having sex, recreational sex, not an affair. When men cheat on their partners, it's because they want extradiatic, they want hot sex that they're not getting with their partner, and they want to keep the emotional intimacy in the relationship that they have.
But did
That's
you
why
just
they cheat.
interview undergraduate men?
Yes, because what I was looking for is a group of men who had a high prevalence of cheating. If you're going to understand why men cheat, you've got to find men who are cheating in order to do it. And I knew that undergraduate men, they're good-looking, they're in universities where they have the opportunity to cheat, and of course I found that they were cheating at about 78%.
Hang on, but
what they tell me...
I'm a bloke in my 50s, married 32 years, I have a 25-year-old single son. I'm a lot different to him, and circumstances are a lot different.
Oh, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I show in my book, The Monogamy Gap, is that young men today, they've grown up with pornography, they're having sex earlier, they have internet sex, and they have a whole different sexual experience when they enter relationships than older people did. And in a sense, older people thought they invented sex. So the sexual life that they got out of their coupledom lasted much longer. But by the time any kid is 16 years old today, he knows all about sex, he knows all of the different positions, and so he's been habituated to it much quicker.
Well,
and that means that the sex in a young person's relationship doesn't last as long. I
suppose women are exposed to the same sort of things as men when they're growing up nowadays. Is it okay for women to cheat?
Well, I'm not saying what is or isn't okay. I'm just explaining why people do cheat. But we know that women cheat at very high rates as well. In fact, research by the Height Report in the United Kingdom show that women in relationships, married relationships, so these are older women, they cheated about 70%. Men cheated about 72%. So this is not just to villainize men. This is to take a very critical look at monogamy and ask us, does monogamy last for a lifetime? Can one marry their partner at 20 or even 30 years of age and expect to not want sex with anybody else for a lifetime? And the answer to that is very clearly no. So then the question becomes, what do they do about it?
Yeah, I just can't work out how you can extrapolate that when you've only interviewed young men at uni. It sounds like a moment that they would be cheating as opposed to everyone else. I just don't get how you can draw that conclusion.
Well, like I said, we already know that adult married couples cheat at very high rates. No survey shows less than 30%. Many show in the 70% range. Okay. So we already know that adults cheat. I just wanted to know sort of what the biological urges were and how they rectify those biological urges sociologically. And so that's why I looked at young men, because they have very high hormonal rates, right? Yeah. And it really exemplifies that. Okay. There's no reason to think that older men would be any different than younger men.
Yeah, but you could study them and they might find the answer, I guess. That's what we're saying.
Older blokes might think of having sex with somebody else, but actually doing it with somebody else is a lot different to a young one. Anyhow, it is a fascinating discussion.
Don't blame me for the fact that they're doing it. Don't blame me for the fact they're doing it. The reality is they are doing it, and we need to know why they're doing it.
Yeah, but why young men are doing it may be different to
older men. Well, all right, Professor, thank you for that.
It might be slightly different, but the reality is men are hormonally charged creatures, and they're looking for sex outside of their relationships. And 30-year-old men or 40-year-old men may not be as sexually charged, but the same principles apply to their relationships as well.
Okay, all right. That heartens me to think that you cut it off at 40 there. All right, thank you, Professor, for joining us. There you go. You make your own decision. Let us know what you think on that. News is next.